Hey everyone, all our Patreon supporters, Carl and Erynn here with a new tune, The Muddy Road to Ducktown in the key of A. And Muddy rhymes with Buddy. My old buddy James Bryan did this years ago in the key of A. And I think you'll find this a lot of fun to play. It's a little challenging, which is good. The guitar part, as always is the case, the ending phrases, you can do several different things. So I'm going to give you some options. And Erynn's going to play it for us one time through, and then you can always go back to the fiddle video and practice. So keep that in mind. She does it slower too. So here we go. The Muddy Road to Ducktown from Bob Douglas out of Chattanooga.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's a great tune. I think you'll find a lot of fun to play. It's in the key of A, so I'm going to scoot in here into the hot seat. Whoops, and now I'll move it over here. And we'll see what we can get into here. The key of A, it's a lot of fun. And I think you'll find this is, like I say, a nice challenge in just figuring out what to do. As always is the case in the backup guitar world, the choices, there's a lot of choices, and you got to kind of make them, you got to pin them down. And I mean, you can really play this tune with just an A chord and an E chord. I'm putting some D's in there, but you can really, I think you might want to try just doing all A and just a quick E at the ending part, and that's a good thing, the turnaround. So what I'm going to do is do something different. What I try to do is a little something different each part, you know, as far as just which string sets to use. And one thing to start with, we're in the key of A, so let's just think about one choice you have there is that a lot of people may play with a capo and play out of G position. I'm choosing to play in the open position because one reason I like to do that often is because that E chord, you have that nice low, you have your lowest note on the guitar available. With the capo, you lose that low E note. So I often, you know, 9 times out of 10, if it's an A tune, I like to play out without a capo. So capo is a great sound too, and you'll have your proponents of that, and I'm perfectly happy to do that too. And so keep that in mind. That's your first choice right off the bat is to use a capo or not to capo. To capo or not to capo, I think Shakespeare was a guitar player, and that was his, before the revision, that's what he said. So anyway, so the first part, and another thing to think about is how do you play an A chord? You can finger the A chord about 3 or 4 different ways. Often I'll tend to just bar it with my first finger on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th string. The reason I like to do that sometimes is because I can get my little finger up on the 1st string, 5th fret as what they call a long A. So that's kind of cool. So and that's something you might want to try. Just bar your first finger on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th string and just practice strumming. You know, the 5th string's your open A, so that's a good bass. And just kind of strum those strings you're barring. Try that without even the 1st string. That's a nice sound. It's kind of a little richer, dark sound. If you hit the 1st string, listen to the difference. Without the 1st string, they're both good. So one thing I always try to remind people of is think about which strings you're strumming and get more selective in strumming just a couple of strings or 3 strings or the higher strings, the lower strings, because you got a lot of variety in the sound textures there. So that's one way people play an A. Another way is to play it with the 1st finger like a triangle. Like if you play a D7 chord, let's just go over to a D7 chord. Let's visit that for a second. And they kind of put that chord all on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th string in one fret, the 2nd fret. Squish it all in there, but it's like a triangle still. Some people like to do it that way. And another way people like to do it is all in a row. Your 1st, 2nd, 3rd finger on the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string. That way. And that's a little hard to get a clear sound on the 2nd string. And I'll mention one more thing before we start into the backup. If you think about your hand, how you can really torque it around like a little hinge, your thumb being a hinge, and your elbow and the whole deal, you can really bring it around your angle of fingers. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but this is kind of isometric. Feels kind of good. I think it's therapeutic. You might do this for an hour a day, and people would wonder about you, but don't let that stop you. I think you'll find it's a good thing to do. And you can, when you do that A with all three fingers, you really do have to kind of bring your elbow up and come around as far as you can. But I'm going to do, I may do all of those. Like I say, I like all those fingering. So what I'm going to do, one thing to try before we even get started is sometimes you can suggest a D chord without even doing the D chord, just that low bass. You can do a thumb hook. Just try the A chord, 5th string with that bar, and then your thumb hooks that low bass as a bass walk to the E chord. So let's just try that first. A and a thumb. I'm trying with the triangle now. Try both ways. See, your thumb hook, E chord. Try with the bar shape. Bar, and you could even use your second finger to get it. So there's a lot of ways to get the same sounds. All right? So that's going to be a little lead in to the E chord. And we'll do some walks. The first part, I think I just kind of hang around on the A a lot. We'll put a little movement in an A chord. And we'll use the 5th and 4th string. And I'm going to try that little thumb hook, or it could be a bass, second finger, E chord, and a little walk back to A. So let's just try that a few times. 5 and 4 for the A chord. Then you have that thumb hook the first time around, and the bass walk back to A. Say the second time around, this, and then I do a D chord just to mix it up a little bit. You almost get the same sound. You don't have to use the 4 chord, but let's try the D chord and the thumb hook, kind of a leading tone again to the E, back to A. So the first part, I'm going to do that. 1, 2, first part, 5 and 4. And I'm strumming all the high strings. And get the thumb hook, 2nd fret low, E chord, and walk, bass, 6, 2, 4, 5th string A. Maybe try the different finger, experiment with the fingering. This time we'll do a little walk on the 4th string, 2, 1, open a bluesy walk to D, thumb hook low, E chord. First part again. Thumb hook and the E, walk the bass back to A. Bluesy walk to D, D, thumb hook and E, back to A. That's the first part. This time we'll walk the bluesy walk, 2, 1, open, 4, D, thumb hook, E and A. Let's do that one more time. That's the first part of Muddy Road to Ducktown. And we're not doing too much. We're throwing a D in there. You could stay on A the whole time, but I kind of like throwing the D in there because the melody really is, you're in this. So you're really focusing on 2 notes out of a D chord, the A and the F sharp. So that works fine. Da, 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 da. So I like that okay. E back to A. First part one more time. 1, 2, 3, go. A, 5 and 4. Twice. Thumb hook, low, and the E. Walk the bass, 2, 4, back to A. You can experiment with the finger, could be anything. Walk the 4th string down, D, thumb hook, E, back to A. First part, 5 and 4. Twice. Thumb hook, low out of the A and the E. Walk the bass if you like, 5 and 4. D, bluesy walk, D, thumb hook, and E to the A. Now the second part, I think we're going to do something different at the ending phrase just to show you what sort of works too. You can do an A to a D to an E. If you just heard, so you can do that too out of that same kind of territory. So A to D to E, which is what they call around the horn, and it's a good thing to remember. So let's try the second part, and we're also going to add one more little feature there. A couple of things we'll add, which is kind of fun. We'll do the something that's a nice note is this that same note we're using in the bass. So to get to the E, we can also do it if you're barring that A on the 2, 3, and 4 strings with the first finger bar in the 2nd fret. You can get that same note. Try that a few times. Just get that open 5 and reach up and get that F sharp note. It's my 3rd finger on the 4th fret, 4th string. because the melody goes kind of the second part. It's like a da 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 dee da doo ba dee da doo ba dee da doo ba da 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 doo doo dee da doo ba dee da doo ba da. So you can not really play in the melody, but you can outline it a little bit. So let's just try that a few times. Bar the A, and we'll pick the 5 and 4 a few times, then reach up and get that 4th fret, back down to the. Let's just try that over and over. It's kind of a cowboy sounding thing, kind of like a tumbling tumbleweed. So that's going to be a little maneuver we'll do. I'm keeping the bar and getting that 3rd finger on the 4th string, 4th fret. And I'm really strumming there. Let's try strumming the, not strumming that 1st string just for fun, to practice that, the inside string, the inside strum. It sounds like a selective group, the inside strummers. And I think I'm an inside strummer sometime. We got the inside scoop, so we're going to pick that 5, strum, 4, and reach 3rd finger back to that 4th string, 2nd fret. And then we go to E chord. Then we can walk again. Again, the same maneuver if you like. And this time we're going to go just the A chord, 5th string, and we're going to do the D chord with that thumb hook. And just, I'm really strumming the inside string, so I'm not going to fret the 1st string. You could, but without the 1st string, you can have it fretted if you like, or you don't have to. If you, another great concept of backup guitar, or just picking the guitar or any instrument. If you're not going to pick a certain string, you don't have to worry about fretting it or not fretting it. You know, you don't have to fret it, so to speak. Sounds like a philosophical statement. I'm going to adhere to that one of these days, I hope. I got to pay attention to what I say sometimes. So A, the D with the thumb hook, and then E chord. So the second part, we're going to add that little traveling, little tumbleweed. We'll call that the tumbleweed maneuver. E chord, walk back up the same way if you like. The tumbleweed, and just the regular A chord, 5th string, thumb hook, D chord with the high note if you like. You can strum the high string if you like, or not fret it. E chord, back to A. We're going to do that again. Tumbleweed, E chord, tumbleweed. And this time, the second time around, we're going to go up to an F shape if you play an F chord. We're going to move that up. Remember your half steps and whole steps of your musical alphabet. We're going to go up from that F shape all the way up to F to G's a whole step, 3rd fret. And then G to A would be the 5th fret. But I'm really going to just pick, I'm not really going to bar that 1st string, because you could do it, but I'm going to just do the inside strings with the 7, 6, and 5, and pick the 4th string and strum 2 strings. And then I'm going to go to my D chord, and I'm using my 1st finger, 2nd fret, 3rd string, 2nd finger, 3rd fret, and I'm going to get I'm walking a bass there. I'm getting that F sharp note again we had in the A chord, but we're in D now. And then we're going to scoot on down to just a little partial E, 2nd fret and 1st fret on the 4th and 3rd string. Back to A. So let me just let you hear that little ending lick. I'll try it again. Up to 5, my frets are 7, 6, and 5 with a double slant, you might call it, picking the 4th string. Just pick strum. And then I go down to the 4th fret and add that little partial D. That's actually all 3 notes of the D chord, but we're putting the high note you usually have in D, putting it in the bass. Beautiful. And then the E chord. So the second part's going to be the tumbleweed, 1, 2, the second part. Add the little tumbleweed, 4th fret, to the E chord with the bass wall. You could even add a little more wall if you want to add more notes if you like. Anything goes. Tumbleweed, the regular A chord, thumb hook D, E chord, and the A. We'll do the high one next time around. Repeat of the second part. Tumbleweed, and the E with more walk, longer walk if you like. Tumbleweed, all the way up to that 7th fret. A and D and E, and let's do it one more time. Add the tumbleweed, E chord. You could add a little double timing in there if you like. Anything goes. Now the regular A, 5th string, thumb hook D, E chord, low bass, back to A. Starting again, second part. E bass. Tumbleweed all the way up to that 7th fret, the F shape, double slant. D, E, and A. Really nice. Now the third part gets into something that's a little bit tricky because Erynn's playing a version that James kind of played where it hung on it kind of made it a crooked tune by just staying on a little A A sounds for a minute, so you kind of wait. And what we had to do, we tried to figure out a way. A bass walk didn't really work to emphasize. It comes in on that. You can kind of do a little thing after the fact, so to speak. Instead of a walk, we can kind of just do a slide. The nice thing about bar and the A chord, you can kind of get that little So I'm just going to add that little. Instead of a walk, I'm just doing 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's a pickup. And it just leads into that little where the phrase starts moving. So I got the bass, 2, 3, slide. The melody starts. So let's just try that one time. We got the whole measure of A, but the last beat I'm doing a little slide, and then we get into that and we're going to do a maybe we'll go to a little higher E phrase too. So let me just A, 2, 3, slide, bass, and we're going to have an E chord. And I think this time, why don't we try something? Again, there's all kind of possibilities. Why don't we walk up? One of my favorite walks is climbing up from A. So we'll try that. I'm going to do the 5th string open, and then the 4th fret, 5th string, and then the 4th string we're going to go chromatically open, 1, 2, but put our E chord down. We're picking the higher E note, not the low E, not the 6th string, but the 4th string, and just alternate the 5th strings. So let's just try that bass a few times. So it comes in on, let's see, where does it come in? Let me think. 1, 2, 3, slide, A. Boom, 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 boom. Let me think about where that happens. You got 1, 2, 3, scoot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Takes up a whole measure. The walk, take up a whole measure with that walk. And then you're back to that A chord again. And then we got a decision. The third part, we've done we did the D chord, kind of turn around on the first part. Second part, we did kind of the A to D to E. The third part, I think you could do either one. You kind of got a toss up there. So it's up to you. I'm going to let you kind of think about it. And what I probably would do is do one of each just for fun. And again, you could just stay on A and not do any D's too. So if we just stayed, let's see what that would sound like if I go. There's the E walk. Again, 1, 2, 3, scoot. So you can just do A with that little thumb hook. A might be nice the first time. Scoot. Here's that higher, nice little whole measure walk for E. And another thing, why don't we add this for fun? A little bluesy walk to A. 2, 3, scoot. Then maybe we could add that again, the A, D, E, and A. And we have the high variation. Pretty good. So that's the third part. Then we got the delayed scoot, which sounds like a nice technique. And then you have the, we're going to just do we'll do the A thumb hook and the E chord. And there, remember that any bass walk, you can kind of do a straight walk. You can do, you can make it a little more fancy by adding a little double up on any note. You can add more notes or just, you can double up on, you got a lot of possibilities with just a basic bass walk, So anyway, here's the third part one more time with the delayed scoot. I'm going to do a thumb hook, A down to E, and we'll try maybe a little long walk again. So here's the third part. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, scoot. Right? We can do the high walk if we like, and a bluesy A walk. 1, delayed scoot. Try the thumb hook here. Scoot. You could also walk the bass down to E low. This time we'll go back to bluesy walk A, 2, 3, scoot, and we'll go up to the high one just for fun. First part. Our first part, and we're going to go to a D bluesy walk. Remember? Repeat the first part, A, 5 and 4. I'm doing the barman right now. Thumb hook A to the E, second part, we're going to add the little tumbleweed. And maybe walk down to E, right? Tumbleweed. Right, now A to D, thumb hook, E to the A, tumbleweed. Don't sit on the cactus, whatever you do. Thumb hook and the E, tumbleweed. A, and if you do the high one, A, D, E. Third part, we had 1, 2, 3, scoot. And the higher E walk. And a bluesy A. Beautiful. 1, 2, 3, scoot. And here we can do the A and D. You got choices now. 1, 2, 3, scoot. You can also walk low if you like. 1, 2, 3, scoot. And you got that. So you really got a nice, both of those work great. The A chord to the D and the E, what they call around the horn. But it also works, I mean, I kind of like the D as well. And you can do a lot more D in there. And that's where the choice is yours. And I think you'll find they're all great. But just playing just mostly A and a little E turnaround sounds great too. But the main thing is just remember your E walks. You can walk low. Right. You can also walk on that fifth string going up. And you also have those nice bluesy walk to A. It's the second fret. And the same thing for going to D. So why don't we wind up with one little exercise to give you one more thing to think about, because I've given you not quite enough choices to make it totally hard to know what to do. But the main thing is just to do something, and the less you do sometimes is better. So I throw a lot at you, and you can catch what you want. Just pick what makes sense, and just want to be steady and drive that fiddle. Stay right as a foundation to that building. The fiddle tune is the building, and you want to keep it afloat. You want to keep it supported. So keep that in mind. So one last little exercise, and I'll wind up with this, is just doing let's do the A chord, and do a little bluesy walk on the 4th string, 2, 1, open to the D chord, strum, and then we'll do a thumb hook and walk that low bass down to E, the bluesy walk. You can actually use your thumb and scoot it, or you can use the first finger, E chord, and back to A. So let's make that little exercise for a few times. And you can also use that little 2nd fret low as a climb up or down. We'll start with that. Let's start with that little open 2 low. Let's find that one time there. Open 2 low to the 5th string. Open and 2 and then the 5th string. That's just a traveling note, I call it. And that'll start us in the bluesy walk to A, 2, 1 open on 5. And then the D walk on 4, 2, 1 open. And the thumb hook low, 2, 1 open for E. And then back to A, we can do we can go up, or, again, the options just start compiling there. And you have, mainly just enjoy whatever you do and smile like you meant to do it, and they'll think it was a wonderful thing. So keep that in mind. So here's that last little exercise. 1, 2, I'll do the little traveling note. 4th string, 2, 1 open to D, thumb hook low, 2, 1 open E, and the 5th string back to A. And we can start with that traveling note again. Maybe a little 4th string to D, 6th string to E. One more time. You can double up on it. One last time. You can do. Don't forget, you can always scoot in that long A. Oh, that's a great tune. I hope that gives you some ideas on how to go about backing up the Muddy Road to Ducktown. It's a muddy road trying to figure out what to do, but you got to keep on forging ahead. And I think the guitar is a wonderful instrument, and I think you'll benefit from just persevering and just having fun. So thanks for trying out the Muddy Road to Ducktown.